What up guys? How you guys doing? Another vlog. Let's do this one. So it's 2:30 in the morning. I got home about 2 hours ago. Haven't really done much since I got home. I read a screenplay from a good buddy of mine. Actually, really fantastic screenplay. I would absolutely love to direct this thing. It has to do, I won't tell you much about it, but it's an interesting take on the whole superhero idea. It would be amazing, although there's some stuff in it that just would make it really difficult to film without, you know, a lot of budgetary needs. It's a big video and you can't just shoot it in a basement or whatever, not particularly guerrilla style. But that being said, I would absolutely love to film something like that. That'd be great. Which I guess brings me to my next, thing to talk about is like, what am I doing, like, in life? What do I plan to do after this Harry Potter video is done? Good question. Let me know when you figure that out, because I don't really know either. I obviously moved down to LA to try to make this whole YouTube thing become a reality, and that was a year and a half ago, and it's been a slow going. I spent last year just kind of, I pretty much have spent the entire last year and a half, or for the most part the first year, just kind of figuring out the ropes of, you know, Los Angeles, the business, filmmaking in general, because I have zero experience in this industry at all, or at least I didn't before now. And so, you know, being down here, being immersed in everything has really helped me, because before then I used to live in Portland. That's where I went to college and I graduated, and I made a conscious choice to not pursue a career in engineering, which is what I got my degree in, and to pursue this thing that I loved doing so much, which was making videos. And normally that would be a really stupid thing, you know, people make videos all the time, you know, but there's no real monetary potential in that sort of path unless you actually pursue something traditional and serious. Whereas I saw these, you know, YouTube channels springing up and actually being able to pay for anything that they would need. You know, things like rent, food, that sort of thing, with a fair amount of ease. Granted, getting to that point requires some effort, but I mean, my point is that I wanted to give it a shot. If there's ever a time in my life where I thought this was the time to pursue something and see if it could work, this would be the time. I wanted to see if I can get up to that point. But everything changes. From year to year, it's completely different. When Freddy first started in 2010, there was absolutely no precedent for, you know, doing special effects on a YouTube channel, because I mean, think about it. You have to get tons of views, you have to make lots of videos, and you have to post regularly and consistently to get any sort of traction on YouTube, whereas making visual effects videos or visual effects driven videos, they require work, and Freddie and Brandon worked their butt off for the entire first year of working just so that they can put out one video per week. And a lot of the time those videos were kind of simple, but that was because they had to be in order just to be able to fit it in and get their one video per week. And now, for instance, this year, Corridor Digital has kind of not slipped, but held back their consistent schedule. Like all of last year, or at least the second half of last year, they're consistently every other week, new video on this day. Whereas this year, they started doing every third week, but with more and more brand deals, they have to start coordinating their schedules more, and so that can sometimes turn into 4 weeks. Like I was talking about the fart video that went up today, it was supposed to go up a week ago. It was ready to go up a week ago, minus a few things here and there, and went up today instead, which is that whole Sony shout-out thing at the end. So I guess my point is that things are always changing. Who knows what a good position for me will be in. I came down here hoping, you know, to get a big YouTube channel, be able to make a living off of that, but I don't know if that's too doable anymore, in all honesty. Like, YouTube has changed so much that I don't know if that's something I want to even pursue anymore. I still want to pursue filmmaking. I still want to be a director. I still want to push my game as far as visual effects go, but I don't know if doing a consistent small video every week will work out, because I just don't know if it's economical or not. So I think it may be better just to focus, or rather that's why I'm doing this Harry Potter video, is I'm focusing on one big calling card, one big project that encompasses pretty much everything: directing, story, writing, sound, music, and of course my personal specialty, visual effects. And I want to encompass it all into one solid package that I can show to people and be like, this is what I can do. This is what I learned to do, considering I didn't know how to do any of this before I started making the video. I literally shot this entire video without any idea of how to do most of the effects in this video. Yeah, I mean, all the spell effects and whatnot, I knew I could do. I knew that, that's pretty straightforward. They're basically just magical muzzle flares, stuff like that. But all of I'm talking straight from the movies. I'm doing the exact same effects as from the movies. When they would apparate, they would teleport to another spot, they would turn into like these smoke monsters and fly away. And that's what I've been doing. I had no idea how to do this when I shot this video. I knew how to set up the shots, I knew what was needed for the shots, but I had no idea if this was going to be something I was going to be able to do. And that's what I'm working on right now, is learning these programs and learning these new plugins to be able to do all of this stuff. And it'll really prove that if this is successful, if it comes out being a solid video, that you don't have to know what you're doing to do something. You can figure it out as you go. That's the entire idea behind this, is that it'll show that I'm capable of problem solving, which is not something specifically unique to me. I really believe most people can do this. A lot of you people who are following my channel are visual effects inclined. You have channels that have these sweet visual effects. You can deconstruct how to do certain things in videos, and that's great. You guys can do this too. There is no barrier to do this stuff. It just takes time, it takes dedication, and it takes working hard and making sure that you can do this. Am I ranting yet? I don't know. My point is that I am so scared. I am honestly terrified. This is easily the hardest thing I've ever worked on. Apart from, certain exams in college, those are pretty hard too. But I'm talking about not on a difficulty scale, but like a sheer volume of things to do and expectations to uphold. People are depending on me to get this not only video finished, but for it to be good. I'm probably depending on it more than anyone else, because I've dedicated the last 3 months to this video and probably another month on top of that from here on out. So I'm hoping it will be top-notch. And if it is, I'll be relieved. Because like I said, this is the biggest thing I've ever done. I spent well over $1,000 to rent this Red Epic camera for 2 days of filming. I called in tons of favors. I mean, the main two guys in this video are professional actors, and they were totally, I shouldn't say they're totally fine, but they did this on as a favor. And obviously, if it does take off and be awesome, they're the main characters of it, so yeah. But at the same time, it's there's a lot riding on this video for me and other people, so I'm nervous. And I forget who said it, but someone said that if you're nervous about something, it means you're taking it seriously. So you can be assured that I'm definitely taking this seriously. I want it to be as best as it possibly can, and so I'm giving it the time it deserves. I don't want to rush this video, but at the same time, I am rushing to get stuff done, if that makes sense. But at the same time, I still want stuff to be absolutely solid. All the videos I put out up until this point are all oh yeah, that's cool. That's a cool little effect. But it's never had anything on the quality of effects you get from movies. Whereas that was my goal with this, is to actually do effects that you don't see unless they are in movies. But that's just my own personal goal, because I'm not only the director, I'm the visual effects artist. So that's the visual effects side of me talking. The director side of me wants it to be solid. I want it to have a story that is not only engaging, or rather that is not only makes sense, but is engaging and keeps you hooked, makes sense throughout the whole thing. And, you know, gosh, like I said, I'm ranting, but I'm just really excited for this. I'm excited to show you guys. I guess why I started talking about that is because I spent a good chunk of time today working on this really sweet operating example where basically the main villain flies in as a smoke thing, twirls around for a moment, and then jumps out of it and shoots a spell at our main hero, or rather our main protagonist. And it's a super sweet reveal moment, super steady moving shot, and just tons of iterative effects. For instance, like the simulation for that smoke thing took almost 4 hours to do. And this is on my monster of a machine. It's a 6-core hyper-threaded processor, which means it has 12 cores running at the same time. You know, you've heard of quad-core or dual-core and maybe even a quad-core. This is a dual hexacore. 12 cores running at, I haven't overclocked it yet, but I got a processor specifically ready to be overclocked up to 5 gigahertz. I've got a liquid cooling machine, 32 gigs of RAM, and it still took almost 4 hours. And that wasn't even the rendering part. That was just the simulation, all the math involved in, you know, doing this simulation thing. And then I ran into trouble because I didn't know how to actually render that out. That's something I'm still figuring out, is how to render something from 3ds Max. That is something I'm still working on, but yet I have the super sweet, super complicated fume effects shot that is all ready to go. So go figure, right? Yeah. So that took a lot of time today. Kind of felt like I was unproductive because of that, because I couldn't do anything on my computer during that time. And my computer here that I have at home, which is what I used to edit everything on pretty much before March. So everything that I've ever put out was edited on this computer here. So yeah. Oh man, in a few seconds be my longest vlog yet, but I feel like this was pretty dense with stuff that has been on my mind. And maybe it's good information to know for you guys too. But yeah, so check back tomorrow. Oh, I know, before I go, a friend of mine, the same guy who emailed that screenplay to me, also mentioned some heritage of my name. I saw a few comments from you guys yesterday talking about it. One of your guys' names, Krieger, if that's your name. Vike, I guess, can mean soft. It, like you mentioned, is like a material type, soft sort of meaning. And so if translated literally, it means soft man, which I think is even funnier than weak man. But my friend sent me this heritage thing for naming conventions, and apparently it comes from the name Wigman, like W-I-G man, from the Germanic wig, meaning battle or fight. So in this context, it means, my last name means battle man or fighter, which is also pretty sweet. That pretty much changed my entire, or like descendant of warrior. That's pretty cool. Anyway, that's all for tonight. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. This is a ridiculously long vlog. I can't believe I talked for 15 straight minutes, but yeah, bye.